Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to dive into Swift again. We're going to dive into Vapor again, and this time we're going to bring along our friend Mongo, MongoDB. For anyone that doesn't know, Mongo comes from humongous. It's a little bit of trivia for you. So we're going to dive into MongoDB with Swift on our Vapor service running HTTP. Last week we set up HTTP REST service endpoints. Basically, I want to connect that stuff into into a database. Now I can test it first with just using Postman. So before we even dive into the app stuff next week, I want to dive into just getting something up that saves data to MongoDB. Pretty simple stuff. Hopefully I can get to the end and have it writing data. We were able to get Postman working when we ran the service. There was an issue with just giving it access locally. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna register it, register these data points, and hopefully from there we can then take next week we can set up the front end for the app and do the same thing via the app. And then after that, the following week, it'll be good to dive into the actual model data. So basically, we'll send an image, whatever the image input takes, and then on the server run a conversion that will generate the input data for the model, for the train model for animal identification. And then we'll come back with the data set that registers it in the MongoDB and gives us an ID number in return. So basically today it's just MongoDB in Swift on Vapor. Let's get into it. Let's explore. Let's do it. Yes, so back to where we finished off last time. We had the Swift 5.9 problem where we had to get Swift 5.10 installed. We got that installed locally. I know I should be using Docker. I haven't had a chance to set all that up. I don't have as much experience with Docker as I would like, so I'm gonna have to add that to my repertoire at some point. Now, with this Xcode project, this is expecting Swift 5.10, Swift Tools versions 5.10. I haven't set that up. That's fine. We can just do the code here, make sure it's not broken by writing code, and then we can just build it here by just doing. I think the idea here is Swift run. We will just, in this case, Swift run, right? So that's how we start our server when we get it going. We also have Postman here. So, I mean, the main thing really is we need to open a new window, a new window here, and we want to dive into Swift Vapor, MongoDB. How do we do this? Fluent MongoDB is an integration between Fluent and Mongo Kitten. So basically, Fluent strives. We did a Fluent app, right? So that's the first thing we did. Generate database agnostic API for you to work with data. It's easy to learn Fluent regardless of which database driver you were using. So we actually want to use MongoDB. Now we have if recdb is okay. So this just allows us to use different types. MongoDB Fluent and MongoDB's integration between Fluent and Mongo Kitten driver leverages Swift's strong type system. The most common identifier in MongoDB is object ID. So, how do I set up a database? Basically, getting started. Swift PM, Xcode routing controls, content validation, database, Fluent, query model overview. Fluent is an ORM framework for Swift that takes advantage of Swift's strong. Okay. For an existing project, I think we already have the package URL for it. So we do have Fluent. We do have the Fluent Mongo driver. So what do we do now? How do we go and write data? Models represent. Okay, so now I understand. So previously, when we had the identification in here in public, we had the model, right? We had the app, we had the models, and we had the to do. And this is the actual model that is the Fluent model, and that includes these registrations like ID key, ID field title. So basically, what I want to do is if an animal has a certain type, type, we'll just give them all string IDs for now. We have key, and we have key title. Interesting. So what does that mean? It's a field, right? So this is an ID. So this is the primary key. What do we have? So let's create a new one. How do we generate the database, however? MongoDB. middleware, servers, files, database, deploy. Oh, we haven't even have a DigitalOcean deployment. I've already set this up. That was in the first video. Initial setup. Okay, we've already done all this. I should have actually, I had no idea that I had this here. I could have used this as a reference. Hostname 00 port, and then this didn't even use Nginx. I think we're just, yeah, we had to go. Anyway, we're getting distracted here. Trying to figure out how to get a DB going. We had the driver, right? But how do I set up a database? So if we look here, we don't actually have a database. Or maybe we do. CD resources, right? Views, okay. So we have a to-do migrations, DTOs controllers. So we have an animal ID control. Okay, so let's just register in the same way. Okay, we'll create a new window here. Let's actually spin up. There we go, like that. And then here we'd have the to-do control. So where do we get our DB database? It's really basically what all I want to know is like, how do I set up a database? Redis Fluent model represents configuration. When creating a project with Vapor New, answer yes. Okay. Now drivers. Okay, we've got that. SQLite. No, we want to go MongoDB. Now, MongoDB is a popular schemaless. Yes, that's what we want. NoSQL database designed for programmers. Driver is powered by. Okay, so we have the Mongo driver, and we have the connection string. How? Okay, setting up a MongoDB on Mac OS. There we go. Install. Okay, MongoDB Community Edition. That's what we want. We have Mongo Community Edition, and we install Mongo Community. Brew, okay. Brew tap Mongo Brew DB. Brew tap. So Brew is just the package installer for different things in Mac OS. And a tap is like a source for packages, so you can add a tap. Let's tap brew tap MongoDB brew. Let's cancel. Oh, it's not letting me cancel it. Control C MongoDB. There we go. So we set up, set this up, download whatever we need to. This gives us kind of like the list of things we can install from that tap. From there, we obviously want to do brew update. It'll just get a list of all the dependencies, making sure that we've got latest everything, and then, okay, 7.0. Brew install. Okay, brew install Mongo DB community at 7.0 community. So install our MongoDB here, basically. Install the functionality. Install the functionalities. Install all the functionalities. OpenSSL, all the dependencies. Node. It's like you install the whole world just to do one bit of thing, one small database. Sometimes I wonder whether it would be just better just to do my own database. Pretty easy to do. You have like a persistent storage. You can use a file system, and then you store data to that file system. The problem becomes more dealing with a concurrency when you got a large database and you're reading and writing a lot of things, and you're queuing those things and prioritizing reads and writes. So it all seems really easy at the start until you start digging into the details. So installation includes the following binders. We'll get the Mongo server, which we want, and the shared cluster query router, and the Mongo shell. Okay, so basically we install it. Okay, once we install it, I think we go into the Mongo shell and we create MongoDB CRUD operations, insert documents, brew prefix, run. Okay, so we start it, and we stop it. And then how do we get to run MongoDB manually as a background process using a config file? Run Mongo. So basically we'll need to have that server running in the background on on our server, our Linux server that's sitting in the cloud at the moment on DigitalOcean. To MongoDB manually as a background process specifying the DB path. So to run MongoDB, you can run MongoDB as a macOS service using Brew, or you can run MongoDB manually as a background process. Cool, but where does it, if this is the case, where does it put our database? Okay, so we have MongoDB. We can start it. We can start the server, and then what can we do then? I want to set up a database. Opens the preferences. If you start MongoDB as a macOS service, Brew's list service, connect and use MongoDB to begin with MongoDB connect Mongo SH. So we'll just open a new tab here and we'll do it via Brew service. So let's start. We'll start this MongoDB community 7. Start MongoDB, Mongo. That should be 7.0. Start that. Cool. Okay, so we're running it via brew services list. I should have pretty much that one. Unbound mosquito. Oh, I'm still running mosquito. Background. Mosquito is an MQTT server. We were trying it. Status none. So we have unbound. I don't know what that is. So once we have it running, managing database tools. Using MongoDB, connect and use MongoDB. So in here we go, Mongo SH. Okay, we've got the shell, we've got the service, so we've got the shell now. Here we go. So this is the service, MongoDB 127.2.7 direct connection, true service select. Okay, so that's our service. The server generated these startup warnings when booting. Access control is not enabled for the database. Read and write access to data is unrestricted. All right, that's fine for now, I guess. So when we're running our service here, when we create the, I guess, public, where is the actual configuration here? Okay, MongoDB localhost 2707 Vapor database. So where does it get this environment variable database URL? Okay, so if we do Swift, we got this running here. Let's go. We're in MongoDB. We have our localhost 27017 direct connection is true, service selection timeout. All right, so we have this running, and now what we can do is go here and we'll just do Swift run again. Run. I think it does build it. Probably didn't need to do that. I could just execute the application. So given that this is set up here like that, while it's writing, we'll just do something here to save some data, right? We don't have any data sets, but we can see that the request here comes in. It's a to-do query and index create with the request. So we'll do to model. So this looks like it's to-do DTO. It'll decode this as JSON by the looks of it. So we would need to set up here animal ID. This will just post this at post animal ID and headers body. It's a create. So this is a post delete. So post is create. Okay, so register is post to this endpoint. So basically this endpoint here, animal ID with a post will, so get, we want a new request. I want to duplicate this. We'll just go, this is the get request, get rename identify. So this would be identify request. We'll rename this. We postman identify right? We'll rename this collection also. Animal ID, and then we'll call this one register. This will be the register with a post. And we'll just, I guess, for now with our model, we'll just go animal, new file, Swift file, and our new file here, and then this will be animal. Rename. We'll rename this to animal, and our to do in this point will just be a reference. So the final class animal, and it's a model, right? So, and it's also by the looks of it. Did it start? Server started 1.0. Now, applying app. Now, did it connect? Configure. Migrations, create to do. We don't really need to. What is create? Add. Okay, so if we have create to do, that would, what would this does? It would create a schema, database schema ID field create, right? So if we then go into our database here, and then we have to help improve our products. Now let's see if we can list data sets, query documents, query documents. MongoDB query everything. Iterate a cursor. Retrieval rates. Query an embedded nested documents. DB await collection. So you can query documents in MongoDB using the following methods: your programming language driver, the MongoDB Atlas UI, MongoDB Compass, shell, Node.js. I just want the shell. There we go. MongoDB shell. Connect to your perform CRUD integration. DB administer manage service. Manage user roles. How do I read data? Connect. Interact with your data. Perform CRUD operations. Read. Read operations, retrieve documents, see query, for example, see query documents. To return all documents from the movies collection, use DB. Just this operation is equivalent to just find star. Specify a quality condition. Specify conditions using query. I want to basically see if we have anything in our DB. So how do we do that? db.db dot, is that anything? db dot has property, get name, get user, db dot stats. API version, subversion, topology, attributes. Okay. Do we have anything? Get Mongo, get collection name. Okay, db dot get collection names. db dot get collection names. API versions, function, async function. What did that do? Platforms, return type, unknown. Test. Test? What is it? Why does it say test? The server generated these data pointings to help improve MongoDB. So I'm in the same database, right? What about db.toString? No, get collection. Get collection info's admin command. Create collection. Get collection. So this one was create to do, right? So we have here get collection schema, database.schema, to do's, get collection schema, to do's. Does it have a schema? This isn't even in, it's not even in, it's not in alphabetical order. Why not? Get collection to do's. Okay, let's try that. db get collection to do's. Next error, missing semicolon. Semicolon collection. To do is not defined. Well, that sucks. Prepare on database DB. Try await DB schema. Create. create to do. Well, it should be. Well, let's see. Did it actually do this? Try. I mean, migrations, add, use leaf. It says app database. Use the database configuration databases. But here to do, when we add one, we just go db to do query all. Find, create, content decode. So this actually creates, it creates a migration on database, async migration, add migrations, add create to do, and this is like the actual create to do is the migration on the database. But what about going to do app dot database here? It's weird. How do I actually? It's saying it's done the migration here, but it's not really clear how we actually get data in there. So we use the connection string as Mongo. Cool, we've got that. Models. So Galaxy model, and then identifier tells us how to do that. So if your database uses predefined schemas like SQL databases, you will need a migration to prepare the database for your model. Migration is also useful when seeding databases with data. To create a migration, to find a new type conforming to the migration. The prepare method, okay. So we have a couple of problems here, right? First one is Swift run app. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so that's what we want to do. We want to run Swift app, Swift run app migrate. So there we go. That's how we do it. So app migrate. Swift app run migrate. Okay, let's try that again. Whoa, okay. Back to the drawing board here because I was just doing some crazy stuff. Creating some data to do DTOs. And then for animal, we had to do an animal. And so this was unchecked sendable. Sure what that means, but because it's done somewhere else, somebody probably thought about it and it runs. And so I'm just going to do the same thing. And then maybe at some point I'll figure out what that means. Schema. Okay, so we have our schema here. We go equals animals. And that's it. Leave it at that. Okay. What happened to my mouse? This whole thing, right? So because I'm going to plug in my keyboard here via USB because Apple has problems with Bluetooth keyboards that aren't Apple. And if you try to use Bluetooth keyboards that aren't Apple, it will not like you and then drop Bluetooth out. I mean, it's pretty bad. Sometimes I love Apple and sometimes I think they push things a bit too far. Okay, let's run this again. Cool. And now we have a problem here because I couldn't find model, and it's because we don't have import Fluent. Well, I mean, this is one annoying thing. Would it even build on this? I don't think. Yeah, we don't even have a target. It doesn't even build. Even though we have a package file, it just let's go. Let's try and fix Xcode settings. Let's see for this one. Yeah, it doesn't make much difference. Still using some package tools. 510, but it doesn't like it because it's using a different set here. All right. Well, let's jump back into this. Let's go. Great. Alrighty then. Decided. What? No. Just no. Please. Please no. Now, that worked. Yes. Okay, let's just comment this out for now. I'm not going to stuff around. Main point is to get the database migrated, get something in there so we can say, okay, well, it's doing something. So while we have that, The following migrations will be prepared created to do on default. Sure, let's do that. And let's have a look at what happens to our database. We get something happening. Database ID migration. Migration successful. Okay, so that was successful. So what does this mean? To-dos is not defined. To-do? To-do is not defined. To-do is not defined. DB. Test. How can we switch to a different DB? Show roles, show collections, show databases, show collections. No collections, show databases. Admin, config, local, Vapor database. Hey, we got something. We got something. So we have, let's so how can I open Vapor database? Nope, that's not it. Open, okay. No, open is not defined. So connect. What is this? We were like, let's use set kind of, okay, use Vapor database. Cool. Switch to Vapor database. Now we got, what do we got now? Got show collections. Fluent migrations. Fluent migrations and collections. That's not really that helpful. What about, let's show about db dot, was it get collection? To-dos. No. So fluent migrations. db dot get collection. We got fluent migrations. What does it give us? Fluent migrations. It's got show collections, and it says get collection. db dot get collection. I just not do it right. No. Okay. I have no idea what's going on there. I don't understand. Show users. Show DBs, show collections, show tables, print all collections for the current database. Show tables. So show databases. We've got that. Okay, show collections in our current database. So what do we have? We're in the DB dot. What can we do? Get role, drop all roles, change password, get collection names, get collection info, get. Well, it's saying it. I don't have it, right? I can't find it. Get name, update user, create collection. Right, so what about if we do db.create collection, right? Create collection. Collection, we just go to-dos, right? To-dos. I'm doing something wrong here. Get collection, fluent migrate. I'm doing something very wrong here. Fluent. Come on, you know how to spell fluent. Migrations. No, missing semicolon. How does it work? And okay, there we go. Missing semicolon 116. Let's go back and figure out the how we use the query language here. We'll use this db.movies. Okay, db dot fluent migrations. And what do we do? Wait, we don't want to find anything. We just go db.fluent migrations. Dot find. Read all documents. Dot find. Can I read properties of undefined? Find. What? We're using use Vapor database. Okay, we're already on there. Okay, we have show collections. We have fluent migrations. So we have read all documents in a collection. Now, the examples in this page reference the Atlas sample dataset. You can create a free Atlas cluster. No, I just want to go from db dot migrations. Okay, dot find. Cannot you read properties of undefined? Cannot read properties of undefined, reading find. That doesn't make any sense. So insert a document, right? So db dot fluent dot insert one, and we'll just go just ID test, and that's it. Cannot read properties undefined, reading insert one. Look, you'd think it's telling me retrieve the inserted document. You configure, connect to deploy. I see the collection there, right? You see it. You see it. You see it, right? You see it too. But it's just telling me that it can't do anything. So I don't understand why it's telling me it has that. It's into a collection. How do I create a collection? Configure Mongo. Configure settings. Configure settings via API. Form CRUD operations. Insert documents. Now the other thing is that now if I just go just movies, right, and just go insert one. Now, from what I know, what I've read is that I can just insert something here, right? And it should work. Yeah, inserted something. Now, if I go show collections, we should have movies. Now, why can't we look at anything in fluent migrations? So what if we do db.movies.find? Yep, found something, but then fluent migrations. No. Let's have a search. So if we go MongoDB, fluent migrations, Vapor, returns fails. There's a fails, right? What do we come up with? To migrate database. So then, okay. So we have our migrations, right? Add my migration. Cool. And then we run it. And then we can revert it. Sure. Okay. So querying. Now that you've successfully created a model and migrated your database, you're ready to make your first query, right? So we can try db all. In order to return a galaxy directly in a route closure, create a galaxy. Would you like to? Yes. So we did that, but it's two do's in our case, right? And it was successful. So what about if I try to run a Swift service is running? So if we try to run it again to reconnect, Swift version. So we've built complete. We just ran the server again. Fluent migrations. Well, I cannot look. Cannot read. There we go. Read fluent migrations in Mongo shell. Mongo shell. Vapor Swift. We'll always prefix it with Vapor Swift. And what do we get? MongoDB, use MongoDB Vapor and Fluent. Okay, that's great. You have two ways to fix this. Explicitly set the database for the user type. Happens when the model doesn't know which database to use. You have two ways to fix this. Use a database, my database, or pass the user type as a preparation for the droplet. Okay, no. Framework for Vapor 4. So this is an example using Fluent ORM. Yep. So this is using a different type of database. So why can't I actually explore it? Sometimes I wonder, maybe it would have been easier to use. So this is the advanced stuff: schema, transactions, query, model, overview. So we have models. Oh, someone emailed migrations, create galaxy. Okay, we did this, we've done this, and then schema. In this method, we don't care about a schema because we're using MongoDB. It's not really that querying. Create a project with the following request. Okay, query logging. So this is configuration MongoDB. So we may, okay, so if I run the migrations again, right? So I will create a migration that will, what about if can we drop db dot maybe fluent migrations, fine. So there we go. So what about if we do insert one without the prefixed, and then let's say db, oh, actually no. You know what it's going to do? It's just going to show go db dot show collections. It'll have one without. Yeah, that's what I thought. Db dot. Okay, so we'll go back to our Xcode application here. We will set up another fluid migration for animal here. And what I'll do is I'll just move this into to do DT create to do. We'll do another migration. We'll call this create animal. We will actually need to create animals. So I've got a feeling that this is something else other than what the standard DB set is, right? Because fluent migrations, that it doesn't mean that I've got the database with the collection, right? Fluent migrations would be something else that it uses to refer to within the database. It could be binary data. I'm not sure exactly how it works. Basically, we want to do, we'll come back create to do the migrations, add create animal migrations. Just create migrations. So just, yeah, so create, copy paste, create animal migrations. And so we have the schema, database schema, to do's, ID field. We have, let's see, animal field ID, or ID field string. So the ID is the ID, right? So that'd be the identifier. Animals. What else do animals have? Let's say the kind field by string type animal. Let's give it a. Let's see. We have an animal type. We have the animal weight. How is the weight? How high it is? Height. Width. Just what else? Height, width. Base height, width doesn't really make much sense. Just weight and height, right? So we'll do that. We have our animal class. We have our to do class here. We'd give it ID field, UUID. So we have the same thing here, just a UUID for the instance, and we'd have field. We have two, weight and height. Weight and height. So nice and easy. We're just setting up some models here, really basic stuff, just declaring the kind of data that we want to store. So far, we've figured out how to set up a database, how to use the shell to write data to it. And essentially, we can model the existing data that we have with title. This will be weight. And then basically the next step will be we take in an input parameter from JSON via the Postman. So we send a Postman HTTP request, which would be a post that will have JSON in it with this data, and then we'll write, that should write to some collection inside the database, right? So, self.id equals ID. Right. And then height. Height. To DTO, I'm not sure if I need to worry about that for now because I just wanted to create this set animals database schema, create schema. All right, type, no, not type. Do we have type? I think I just left this as, yeah, weight height. Just leave it at ID weight height. We don't need a type. All right, actually, no, let's give it a type. Give it a type. So we'll just need to add this here, type string, type, and we'll just insert it here too, and fix the formatting. Self dot type equals sure is type. All right, so that's animal. Okay, now we've configured, we've got a migration here. Let's go and run the migrations again on the server. So we'll run that migro. Okay, so we'll just, for some reason this isn't building because create to do. We have here fluent, import fluent. And then what do we have in animal? We have foundation fluent. And then in to do, what are we missing here? We have, struct foundation UID. It's going to be included anyway. Let's have a look. Okay, cool. Yep. Animal migrations on default. Would you like to continue? Yes. Okay. Migration successful. So we have it. Let's see. Let's have a look at show collections. Fluid migrations. Okay. eb dot delete, remove. How do I delete a collection? Drop role, create collection. Drop collection. Drop database. No. How does one get collection infos? DB get collection infos. So, let's see what we got here. Move. Okay, I'm not sure how that works, but I think we had the other one, which was just, we actually work on the DB itself. Okay, well, maybe db.movies.remove. Remove, find one, remove, exist, run command, remove, drop, replace one, delete. Okay, so we have show collections. I think it's telling me to delete something inside, delete many, drop, get Mongo. Okay, it's not that important right now. We can have that in there, delete one, find one, many, delete, db.delete, d.delete. I'm not sure how to remove a collection. We can figure that out later. Okay, so we have Galaxy ID equals Galaxy ID. Okay, because it's a Galaxy, but we're not going 2 levels deep. When we then go into and do the post in our animal ID controller, here we would have the to-do. This would be the animal. To-do control would have the create, which is just identify register. We'll do the same thing. I guess it looks like, okay, returns the DTO. We don't really care about that. We just want to make sure that we'll just return the HTTP steps. Okay, so we have let animal equal try dot, okay, dot content dot decode. It looks like we have to go animal.def dot self to model. Okay, so basically we'll need to go and jump into the animal model here, and it's just the same thing like this. So we just go with this animal, this is the animal def duplication. Where type weight and height. So we to model, and then we just go to animal, model animal. Oh, animal. Yep. We do have default in. Interesting. I guess how does it know what the default parameters are? It's using this. So string probably gives it empty string then. And then ID equals ID. If let title, why would you do that? If let title equals title, just if it's, because not in, yeah, we'd have to do the same thing. Type, 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 and just do the same thing. Or here, and here, type, weight, height, weight, height, weight, 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 weight. All right. Animal def, we want to do that with the animal def, and we'll go to the animal ID controller, animal def, got that, and then let's see, create it, and then I guess, yeah, try await. So basically do this asynchronously to do animal.save on the request on save on request.db. Let's see if that runs. So we don't need to just see if we build it. Okay. What doesn't it like? Content.decode animal def.self. No exact matches in call instances method decode. What? Content.decode. Create content.decode. Oh. Unless there's something specific about this animal model unchecked. It's animal def content, right? And then DTO is the content as well. Doesn't really do anything magical here. And go to try result sort by title. Okay, so this is just testing the data sets. So this one's fine, but then animal def, it's saying can't find it. Let's see why. Cannot find type content in scope. Okay, so there's something here. Vapor. All right. Yeah, there we go. It can't actually even get to that point. So when we go to our animal, we actually need to go import vapor here. This should be better now. Yeah, I thought that was strange. All right, so here we go. We've got an endpoint where we can send in some kind of packet. And if this all works, we've got a post. We'll jump in with, I guess, the same one, post. This is identified, this should be a get. Register. There should be a post to this. Let's have a look at the header. We've got a body. Let's see. Form data. None. No, we want form data. No. Binary GraphQL. Just what? Just give me a text. This request does not have a form data. URL encoded. Raw. Okay. Raw, I guess JSON. Yeah, there we go. JSON. Okay, so we have ID. I guess we'd expect it. ID. It's UUID. String UB 2312312. What's that? Then we have, let's see, weight. Again, it's a string, so it's 24.0, 23.0, and then another one. I know we should be using numbers and all that, but I'm not too fussed. 23.1. And then we have schema. Interesting. It's asking for a schema there. Type. We'll call it sheep. Comma. All right. Let's see what it gives us back. Well, it's going to give us HTTPS. Okay. Maybe we should fix that. Try await. God, do at least we can get some kind of feedback. Do try catch, and then let's just say we go h return here, and then we go HTTP status. HTTP status. Autocomplete. Why is there no autocomplete? HTTP status. Getting started. Let's see basics. Routing client. Give us HTTP status. Auth header request. The client controllers. Routing controllers. There we go. Controllers. Is there something? Return.ok. Return. Throw abort. Okay, let's just throw abort. Not found. What about? You can do it. Actually, I think if it cannot save it, it'll do a try anyway. So we'll get some kind of our log should definitely catch something. Let's leave it like that, right? So let's just run it, build it again, and let's try and send something to. Here we go. That's our JSON here. And what did they say about Vapor fluent migrations? No, we don't need fluent migrations. We need query transactions. Okay, so if we request a transaction model, maybe the model will give us some insight. So do planet. Cool. Yeah, sure. We want to have a look at the actual call. Fine. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Go. That's great. Awesome. Yep. Excellent. Yep. Great. Now, request sync. So apt patch get save planet save on database. To save a model on the database, we save on the database. For example, the batch create. Okay, create on database. Where do we get the database? In a controller. Query find. So this is using middleware. Fluent MongoDB's integration. Okay, most common identifier. Data modeling in .mongodb. That's great. We have a document. For example, you can query. No. Look, I'm sure there was something here that showed us how to actually write something in the post. Let's see, is there a post somewhere here? Post Galaxy request content decode. That's great, but where is the JSON? I know that there was a JSON call somewhere here, surely. Okay, this like video is already, it's already like how long? 54 minutes. Here we go. Okay, that's it. This is it. Post link. Okay, post. You should get the create model back. Sure. Maybe we should just do that. Oh no, let's just not for now. Just see if it works, because this is all we need, right? This is just raw JSON send. Hey, error, true data, corrupted path ID, attempted to decode UID from valid UID string. Okay, well, this UUID, is that going to work? Let's try that. True, value, reason, error. The value was not of type string at path ID. Oh, for God's sake. Let's just, I guess we have to make a real, I thought UUIDs, okay, just UDID or UUID? Was it a UUID? At least it's giving us errors, right? That's good. Said the right thing. UUID. Generate. Well, I didn't. Thank God I didn't delete that. Generate UUID. Let's see, quickly generate a UUID. Let's just generate. Come on, loading. Why not? Version, generate version. Generate. Okay, closed. I don't care about this. Just give me a UUID. Just one. Generate version. Oh, here we go. It's getting exciting. This might work. Yep. Send. Oh, we have a winner. No matching connection found with host. Great. So created a connection. Show collections. Animals. Did it have that? No, it didn't have it before. We got did it. So now we have our postman sending a JSON structure, really simple stuff, sending it to our database. Sending it to our server, our HTTP server, which is the Vapor server, which is connected to our database. First time I've ever used MongoDB. It does seem, I mean, in having this set up in less than an hour, in under an hour, we've got a database set up. We've got data sent through from Postman with JSON writing to this database. So let's just go db.animals.find. And what do we have? We have our sheep. You see that UUID. You see the weight and the height and the type. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. In under an hour, we've been able to explore Vapor, MongoDB, Swift again. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll see you next time. Bye.